Oh, what is good, fam? How are we doing today? I know you guys are doing good. I know you guys are doing great because we got that dub. Oh, feels good to own the Bay. Feels good to run the Bay. Feels like this is our home now. It's officially our home. The Bay is ours. The Bay is ours forever. And don't forget to remind your Raider friend, your family that's a Raider fan. Just let them know gently let them know that we run the Bay. And it is what it is. Just say 34-10, 34-3 doesn't matter. 34 is the magic number to get the victory over the Raiders. I love it. I'm so happy. Today was a good day, man. Today was fun. Today was a vibe. Got to meet some people that I've known through this platform for quite some time. To actually get to meet them, dude, that was a ton of fun. That was super cool. Shout out to all of my guys out there. Super fun. It was a beautiful day. It was super hot. My face got charred on one side. Matches the beard, matches the hair and the hat. So it's fine. It works out great. Um, but other than almost dying of dehydration, today was a great day. Today was a good day. So primarily what we're doing right now is we're doing a recap. I already did a recap on Instagram. This one's more for YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. If you guys are on Instagram and you want to go over to YouTube, feel free. We'll see how long we'll keep Instagram up for. Instagram is a fun app right now. People on Instagram are great. But anyways, so I figured what we could do is we won't go crazy in depth because just to understand, I haven't gone back and watched, and that's something that I absolutely need to do to be able to analyze and kind of really give a strong opinion on certain specific plays and players and all that good stuff. That will come probably tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll do a real down and dirty deep dive into what we saw, X's and O's, technically based, player based, all that kind of stuff. Today, we'll do high level. So essentially, what we saw, again, might be a little bit of repeat for some of you guys, but what we saw is we saw the dual quarterback. The dual quarterback offense that Kyle Shanahan has alluded to, he's mentioned, he's talked about. Uh, I I didn't really believe it. I'll be 100% honest. I didn't really believe it because I've never seen it work with a ton of success. I've only seen it happen really in the college ranks, and even so, it wasn't something that I would always like. You know, I'm definitely a big proponent of giving one guy the job and letting him build momentum and stack plays together. Uh, but what we saw is both of them together looked good. Like it was crazy. Like I know Kyle's been about it for a while, and I'm like, Kyle, you're getting a little crazy. You're getting over your skis, Kyle. No, Kyle. Again, it's Kyle. Kyle's a goat. Why do we even question anything Kyle does? Why? Why do we do it? Why? This season has just been this off season's been insane, and for it to end the way it did, because guess what, guys, we've actually made it. Like we say it like when preseason came, we said we made it. When the first preseason game showed up, we said we made it. Or I meant when training camp showed up, we made it. First preseason game, we said we made it. Well, guess what? We made it through. We made it through the off season of all off seasons. Man, I'm telling you, what a whirlwind it has been. We made it though. We made it, and for it to end up with what we saw, a two quarterback system. Now, I don't know if that actually is going to translate into the regular season or not, at least as heavily as they had showed it. today. But today, Kyle, man, Kyle's just showing off his genius, showing off his. It's crazy. It's crazy, Sean. I see what you're saying. I'll get to that a little bit. Actually, let's get into it right now. Let's get into offensive line. Sean said the backed up center looked good today. That's Jake Brendel. Jake Brendel, I was a little low on to start camp. Wasn't too hyped up on him, but in the preseason, all 3 preseasons, Jake Brendel has done a pretty solid job filling in as the starter in certain situations for Alex Mack. Today we got Alex Mack back though, and that was a lot of fun. We got Alex Mack back today. We got to see him for a drive. I think Alex Mack is going to be a difference maker for this offensive line, putting Brunskill at right guard, where he naturally fits the best right now, at least on this team. I love it. And then we got to see Trent Williams as well. Trent Williams, my goodness, what a savage. Seriously, probably the best offensive lineman in the NFL. I don't know how you can question it. I don't know how he's not a top 10 player in the NFL right now. It's just because we know why. But I saw, Carlos said, did you see Trent toss the D lineman? I saw Trent. So I was videotaping through my phone. I saw it from about 100 yards away. Videotaping through my phone, I saw Trent throw a dude come across my screen on a little iPhone screen, and I saw it. Absolutely saw. I saw Trent throw that guy from over 100 yards away. Trent is just a savage. I talked a little bit about it earlier on the live, but I love that play because it was outside zone, I believe. I don't remember if it was a pitch outside. I just know it was an outside run to the left. And you had Kittle and Trent Williams as your furthest most kind of, I guess, edge offensive players. And you see Kittle go out. That Kittle and Trent were, from my understanding, they were kind of in space like right away. They didn't initially go head up with someone. But they went hunting and they got hats on DBs, and Kittle just drives his guy out, and then Trent Williams gets locked on his guy. He kind of actually cuts back to the grain a little bit and just tossed him like a rag doll. Just so deadly. And my favorite part about it too was after both Trent Williams and Kittle were so hyped. So like as an offensive lineman, like the way those two got hyped about blocking, like I get hyped about blocking. Like I get super excited. Like, so to see them get excited after, like I said, I saw Trent throw the dude from 100 yards away through a little screen, and I wasn't even focused on Trent. I was focused on the running back and tracking the running back, and I see Trent go across the grain and toss the dude. And again, and then that's when I locked on Trent and I followed him to Kittle, and they're just hyped. Trent's doing his like silver back, like whoa, like flex, and like, oh man, I was hyped. I was super hyped. Like I said, blocking gets me excited. Good blocking gets me excited. And when you have Kittle and Trent mixed together, it's been a long day. Leave me alone. When you have Kittle and Trent on one side, essentially being the point of attack for an outside run to the left, we're lucky. We are lucky. The most dominant run blocking tight end in the NFL. Kittle is working his way. Like I don't know, like if anyone's ever said this before or whatever. I don't know if it's hyperbole at this point or what. But Kittle is working towards being one of the best blocking tight ends to ever play this game. Like ever. Like it's coming to that point. It's coming to that point where Kittle is the best blocking tight end ever. Like we're so close. We're so close. My guy said, what did he say? This dude's brain is fried. Bro, I'm fried. I'm absolutely fried. I've been up since super early in the morning. But we working. We working. Oh, is Jake Paul fighting right now? Oh my gosh, I didn't even know that. But anyways, the offensive line, it looked great. Super high energy from that group. I talked about it. Mac led all the quarterbacks, running backs, pretty much the wide receivers onto the field. Again, those small things are just signs of leadership. I think we only saw one drive out of Mac, but I'm so excited. Alex Mack is going to change his offense for the better. So I'm really, really excited about that. Everyone else did good for the most part. Again, I'm not going to get too into the weeds with critiquing technique. Dude, I can't talk. So this is going to be a real short live. This is going to be a real short live. But we're going to push through. We're going to plow through this damn thing. Oh my goodness. I don't even know what I was saying. But I was dehydrated today. I was absolutely dehydrated. I'm still dehydrated. I still think I'm dehydrated. I can't get words out of my mouth. It's been a wild day. It's been a wild day. I need to do a much better job drinking water and staying hydrated. Facts. Get me a Gatorade and a banana ASAP. I want orange slices as well. Please do that. Oh my gosh. So all right. Talked offensive line. Everything from what I saw about the offensive line looked good. Again, can't get super hypercritical of anything until I watch it back. So offensive line looked good. Even the backups, Jake Brendel played almost the whole game. He's played almost the whole preseason entirely. Shout out Jake Brendel, someone who kind of I was pretty low on to begin with. He's earned my respect, and nothing against him. It really was nothing against him, but he has earned my respect to the point where he might actually make the roster. He might actually make the roster as a primary center guard backup. He's played that well. And I would say the usage and how Kyle uses him tells me that Kyle trusts him. Tells me that Kyle trusts him a lot. So Jake Brendel, stock up. Running backs, JaMycal Hasty, fire. JaMycal Hasty looks so good today. He's looked good all preseason. Just the way he finds holes, the way he skirts through is really nice. Raheem Mostert had a really solid game. Getting to see him get a couple touches consecutively, bouncing it to the outside, even running him through the tackles, looked really nice. And we really didn't see a ton of Trey Sermon mixed in with Raheem Mostert. It felt like it was primarily Raheem, which was good to see. It was good to see. So those two guys looked really nice. Trey Sermon looked good today as well. He got limited touches. Also kind of felt like they know what Trey Sermon is at this point, and they just kind of want to same thing, get him healthy, all that kind of stuff. So obviously even Hockett, man. Hockett is probably the most underrated performer from training camp this year. At least for me from the offensive standpoint. Hockett so he's our fullback. He's our backup fullback behind Juice. In training camp, almost impossible to guard out of the backfield. Got our linebackers, safeties had a really tough time guarding Hockett all throughout camp. He has really good hands. He's a really good athlete. He had a really, really good block on the Trey Lance rushing touchdown, which he have essentially sealed one of the edges of the hole to allow Trey to run through. It was really nice. So Hockett I like a lot, but hopefully he makes it to the practice squad. I don't know, man. Hopefully he makes it to the practice squad. We'll see. But he's been an underrated performer of training camp so far. But here are the stats for today, at least from the running backs. Wayne Gallman, 13 carries for 60 yards, 4.6 a clip. We like that. Anything above 4, we like. Bro, I'm looking at this stuff right now just for the first time. So all 4 of our running backs that got significant carries averaged more than 4 yards a carry. That's pretty solid. That's pretty damn solid. And these are the stats for the running backs. Wayne Gallman goes 13 carries for 60 yards, 4.6 yards a clip. Jermichael Hasty, though, is the winner of the group with 6 carries for 55 yards. That comes out to 9.2 yards a carry and 2 touchdowns. Fantastic. Raheem Mostert doing Raheem Mostert things. I'm trying to buy all the Trey Sermon and Raheem Mostert stock in fantasy that I can find right now. I'm trying to get it all. I want all of it. I want both of them. I want both Raheem Mostert and Trey Sermon on my fantasy teams. Raheem Mostert goes 7 for 53, 7.6 a carry. Beautiful. Trey Sermon, 7 for 37, 5.3 yards a carry. So our running backs, whew, sheesh. These boys are chunking it. And so one of the things that we saw and what we got to notice a little bit from a scheme perspective is we saw against last week's preseason game when Trey was in against the Chargers. I think there was 2 or 3 zone read looks, meaning it wasn't the typical kind of offense that we had seen preseason week 1 against the Chiefs, where it was just straight handoff, play action, boots, those kinds of things. We actually saw them start to set up the zone read game. We saw a ton more motion today. We saw a ton more moving parts. We saw a ton more action at the mesh point with both quarterbacks doing zone reads and doing those kinds of actions. And we saw Trey keep them. So I saw so many zone read actions that Trey handed off that it looked like if he would have kept it, he would have busted off a huge chunk yardage. But I just felt like they're not trying to fully showcase that yet. I just feel like they're really, really trying not to showcase that yet, which is why it was interesting when Trey did actually keep a zone read, and he scored a touchdown on it. So that was exciting to watch. I've talked about it a lot this offseason. Is like I'm excited for you guys to see the offense that Kyle's been working on secretly in his dungeon that he only showed for like 2 days of camp. And we're starting to see some of it. Yeah, we saw some pistol. We even saw some pistol today. Like, Kyle's going to unleash this offense. Like, we're just seeing everything he's doing right now that he put in today is all a setup. It's all a setup for Detroit. So he's planted the seeds. He's put on tape exactly what he wants to put on tape so that Detroit is going to start to try to key on these things right now and how they see it now. And I guarantee you Kyle's already working off what the counters are off of those. So everything's a setup. Everything Kyle is doing, he's setting up the defense to do one thing so we can counter another. And so that's why I'm super excited. That's why we saw a glimpse. We saw a glimpse of the offense. So week 1, week 2, week 3, I'm hoping to see Kyle let his hair down. I know he wears those nice caps. I know he's looking fresh on this. Let your hair down. Just let it down. Just let it flow in the wind. You see Kittle? Kittle lets those locks fly, man. He just lets it hang loose. Let your hair down, Kyle. Let's see that offense. I want to see that offense. And judging by Jimmy, he can run that offense too. So far, I've seen Jimmy run twice this preseason. I've seen Jimmy do that. He had that one run against the Chargers. There's a lot of chatter about that run and it being like one of the most definitive, like that was a real run. Like Jimmy went after it. There's no hesitation. There's no gun shy. There was nothing. Jimmy just was like, I'm running. Like he saw the window and he took it. He did that against the Chargers. He did that today too. I've never seen that out of Jimmy. Like to the point where it was, I'm pretty positive when they were down on the goal line, it was a boot. So I think it was, they're showing handoff to the left. So he's showing handoff to the left, tucking it and looping around and then looking for a wide receiver streaking in the back of the end zone. But what you see, especially from the end zone angle, I think the 49ers dropped a video on their social of the end zone. What you see is when Jimmy turns his head, like whips his head around from the play action boot, and like he sees his guys are covered. It's almost instantaneous. He doesn't think about it. He just ran it in. And I'm like, Jimmy, whose man's is this? Who's Jimmy lowered his shoulder, got in. Like, I like it, man. Like, those are the things. Those are the small nuances in body language. People talk about, well, how does Trey push Jimmy? How does this affect Jimmy? How does this and that? Those are the things that you look for. It's the small nuances in body language. If you've watched football enough and you've been around football enough, players speak to you through their body language. They speak to you through the way they make their movements, the way they make their decisions, they're processing everything. They can show you how they are feeling through body language. And Jimmy's body language today, this preseason, I'm impressed. I'm really impressed. Now Jimmy hasn't been perfect, but that's okay. I just like the fearlessness. That's kind of what I feel like. It's kind of what I feel like from that play that just exemplifies this whole offseason. Like Jimmy just whipping his head around, not seeing anything and no hesitation. I'm lowering my shoulder, going head first in a preseason game and scoring this touchdown. It felt like a very, I don't know what the word is. There's a word for it, but it felt nice. It felt real nice. Jimmy looked good. Trey looked good. Trey had some passes that sailed on him. I know he had one that sailed on him. I think, and what we heard is Trey had jammed his finger. Oh, here we go. Dude, they won't stop. All right. If you want this hat, Residency, they are pinned here on Instagram. Go here, swoop it right here. Bang. Shout out Residency though. They got your boy looking right. So Trey, he went 6 for 13, 46 yards. We know he had the rushing touchdown. He had a couple receivers drop balls. Juwan Jennings dropped a ball. A couple other guys dropped a ball, dropped a couple passes. Like I said, he also missed. He also missed one high. The ones with the high passes, I think that's just part of his process. Again, you guys have to remember this dude is completely retooling and transforming his throwing mechanics. So as a person who's retooling and reforming his throwing mechanics, it's not going to be perfect every time. It's not going to be perfect every time. Got to give him some time to get rolling, but it's perfect because Jimmy's playing at a high level. Jimmy's playing at a high level. Trey's playing at a high level. But we've talked about it before. Let's roll with Jimmy. Let's put Jimmy out there week 1. If you want to do this dual quarterback thing, okay. Kyle has proven me to kind of eat my words a little bit. He's clearly shown that he can at least make it look very capable of happening. So if that's what they want to do, that's fine. That's fine. Because I think the 49ers at this point, we just have 2 good quarterbacks. We have 2 good quarterbacks. Jimmy Garoppolo is a good quarterback. Trey Lance is a good quarterback. Guess what? We have 2 good quarterbacks. Yeah, I don't know. Where's Coach? Got to get Coach in the stream. Where's Coach? Shout out Coach though. Coach is a goat. So quarterbacks, running backs, everything looks pretty good. Trent Sherfield Hive is buzzing. The Trent Sherfield Hive is officially buzzing. I swear, like Trent is good, man. Trent is really, really good at everything. In breaking routes, out breaking routes. He can take the top off if he needs to. He's got route running. He's got yak ability. He's got the toughness. He high pointed a super nice ball from Jimmy Garoppolo in traffic. Trent Sherfield's for real, man. Like the hive is freaking buzzing right now. Like you guys know, I'm investing. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I picked him up in almost every single fantasy league. All that kind of stuff. The fight's going right now. Someone hop on and like do a dual stream so I can watch and talk at the same time. I wouldn't mind watching Jake Paul get knocked out. I ain't gonna lie. I wouldn't mind seeing that. And this might be the one too that happens. We'll see. There's been a lot of trash talking. I would like to see that. Anyways, Squirrel. Trent Sherfield's dope. Trent Sherfield's real. I talk about this all the time, especially as you move forward in your fantasy seasons. If you guys haven't drafted yet, you're going to be drafting soon for redraft. And so Trent Sherfield, Brandon Ayuk, I think he's had a shaky preseason. He's had a good camp, shaky preseason. I still feel like he's the primary in this offense. Deebo Samuel is going to have a good year as well as long as he can stay healthy. But if any 2 of those are to go down, it's Trent Sherfield that steps up. So that's why I'm big. Like, even though Sanu might have an edge over Trent Sherfield based on age and experience, I think, like we saw today, if Ayuk or Deebo is down, one of those 2 are down, the next person up is Trent Sherfield. It's not Sanu. I think Sanu is pretty locked into that big slot role, and that's kind of where he'll stay. He's not going to go over to the X or the Y, I believe it is. So I think that's Trent Sherfield. So that's why Trent Sherfield is a fantastic handicap. And someone you might want to stash with that like last pick, just maybe. Jalen Hurd looks like he's going to make it. Jalen Hurd looks like he's going to make the team. Again, based on the comments from the coach, GM, everything that goes into it, looks like he's going to make it. He got 4 for 25 today. I believe he had a couple drops here or there. But you got to imagine, this dude is so rusty. Jalen has barely practiced throughout training camp. And because he's been, I think, dealing with maintenance stuff, 2 days off, 1 day on, 2 days off, 1 day on kind of thing. It's been a really slow ramp up. He's healthy though. He's healthy. They made it through. They made it through the preseason with Jalen Hurd healthy. Knock on wood. Haven't heard anything come out of the press conferences or anything. I expect him to make it. River Craycraft had a really nice catch today. It was really nice seeing him back on the field after he was originally released. They brought him back. He had a nice catch for 23 yards. Had a really good view of that. It was a good throw and good catch by Sudfeld to Craycraft. Jawan Jennings went 1 for 15. Kittle had 1 for 14. Charlie Warner had a good catch. I think Charlie Warner's making this team, man. I think it's got to be George Kittle. It's got to be Ross Dwelling. It's got to be Charlie Warner. It's got to be those three. I can't see how it's not. Charlie Warner has been a fantastic blocker, man. Charlie Warner, I'm excited. I think Charlie Warner might come on for us. Like, maybe not this year, maybe not next year, but like a Ross Dwelly type. Like, I think Charlie Warner might be like a sneaky Ross Dwelly, where a little marinating, a little seasoning, a couple years, throw him on the grill for about 4 to 6 hours, come out looking real nice. Oh, my head, I'm loopy. I'm still dehydrated, probably. I'm still dehydrated. So we'll see. Travis Benjamin left today with a concussion. I don't think they'll keep 4. I think they'll keep 3 tight ends and see who they can get on the practice squad. I think they just keep 3. But other than that, I think that covers pretty much most of the offense. I'll try to plow through the defense. It was really nice seeing Jaquiski Tartt back. It was really cool to see that back. He kind of came onto the field late, and as he was running over to his position group and they were warming up, they were hyping him up. They were happy to see him. What was really cool was one of the guys was Alexander Myers. The other guy was Tavon Wilson. Tavon Wilson has been holding down the starting string safety spot that Jaquiski Tartt has been holding this whole time. And one of the first people to greet Jaquiski Tartt onto the field with a ton of just excitement. You could tell he was super happy to have his boy back out there. It was Tavon Wilson. Tavon Wilson was super excited to see Tartt back out there. I thought that was a really cool moment, especially for Tartt. Tartt has been, he's barely been available throughout training camp, or wasn't essentially. Just got brought back a couple days ago. But what safeties do I think make the team? See, that's a tough one, as I still got to do my whole breakout so I can understand how many, it's a numbers game. So I got to is it 4 safeties or is it 5 safeties? If it's 4 safeties, it's obviously going to be Ward, Hufanga, Wilson, and Tartt. If it's 5, is it HaHa Clinton Dix? Is it Jared Maiden? I don't know how many they're going to keep. I imagine it's going to be 4. And if it's going to be 4, I would have to say it's Tartt, Wilson, Ward, Hufanga. But we'll see. Like I said, I still got to do my whole thing and try and make it all make sense. What are my thoughts on HaHa? I mean, he had the pick today. I haven't done a deep like he hasn't popped a ton for me since he's been on the team. I think the veteran presence that he provides is nice. He's been there, he's done that. I like him. I would like to see more of him. Obviously, preseason's over, so that's not going to happen. But maybe we get him on the practice squad. Maybe we get him on the practice squad. We'll see. I don't think he's been here long enough to really be able to justify taking like a Tavon Wilson's job or something like that. And I think something that we also have to keep in mind is Tarbarius Moore, I think, is going to be back this year. It might not be for about a month or so in, but I think he's going to be back this year. So something else to keep in mind. So I don't know. Maybe they keep 4. If they bring on Marcel Harris, that's the thing. If they keep 4 safeties, but they keep Marcel Harris, he technically can play both positions, linebacker, special teams, and safety. So again, it's gonna be interesting to see. I think Diamador Lenore, Ambry Thomas, probably would have liked to have better days. I know Diamador was like, so when Diamador gets beat sometimes, like he's in position most of the time. Like if Diamador is getting beat, it's not because he's like getting cooked or dusted. Like I feel like Diamador is always in the hip pocket. He's always in position. He's always trying and break something up. He's like right there. But with Ambry feels like he's constantly a full step behind. And I think that's harder because I think if you looked at the 2 cornerbacks and you had to compare them from a traits perspective purely, you'd probably say Ambry Thomas is probably the better traits guy out of the 2. But he's a little taller. He's got a little bit more size to him. He was used like a utility knife at Michigan with Harbaugh, whether it was returning kicks or even on offense. But we're just seeing a lot of situations where Ambry Thomas is out of position. Where, like I said, with Diamador Lenore, he's in position. Like he's in position. Someone said on YouTube, Bebop said on YouTube, Demo never looks back for the ball. That's a little bit a part of it. Like he's in position. Like he's there. He's ready to go. He's right there. Sometimes it's just getting his head around, getting his hand out, reached at the right time. But for the most part, he's there. Like he's in position. Like we know with Diamador, I feel confident that those things will come. He'll get more confident tracking and finding the ball and becoming more of a ball hawker in regards to locating the ball while it's in the air. With Ambry, it's hard to be that when you're constantly a step behind everyone. The biggest thing with Ambry from today was the missed tackle. I think the missed tackle stood out really tough because it was just, I think at any level of football, I'm talking about whether it's pro, college, and any level of college, D1, NC, D1 AA, D2, D3, NAIA, like even a high school. Depends on what high school you go to. But just what he did from a tackling fundamental technique just was like the defender's running to his right. So that all the momentum of the defender is going to his right. So he like shot his head. Like, first of all, you don't lunge. You don't lunge as a tackler. You don't lunge. And he just like kind of did I felt like he thought he was going to trip him. It felt like an attempted trip, not a tackle. But the problem is he completely missed the attempted trip, which makes the attempted tackle look really, really bad. So he defenders going to the outside. He dives inside and kind of rolls his front shoulder down like he's just gonna roll into his legs, but he wasn't even close. And if I'm a defender, if I'm trying to square up someone who's running on all their momentum is going to the right, I'm going to keep them going that way, ensure they don't counter back to the inside, and I'm going to get my hat across his body always, every single time. My hat is going across his body. I'm putting my body into him, and it was just the exact opposite of that. So we know Ambry has had a bit of a tough camp, and some tough preseason games. He's had some good moments too. He's had a couple good pass breakups. I know a lot of people focus on the value of which he was drafted, which is the 3rd round, so they expect more. But I think it's important that we temper expectations a little bit, not get too hyper-focused on the draft value that he was taken at. He's a rookie now. He's just a rookie. And he is clearly going to take a little bit more time to develop. And that's fine. We don't necessarily, knock on wood, need him to play a major role this year. So he can sit behind Verrett. He can sit behind Emmanuel Mosley. He can sit behind K'Wan Williams and soak up and learn, play special teams, do that kind of stuff, and just give him some time. Just give him some time. All right. Rome wasn't built in a night. Just give Ambry some time. I think Diomedor's in a little bit better shape right now from a rookie standpoint, but I'm not ready. Not ready to call him the B word, as everyone loves to throw around. Zach Kerr had a sack. I think Zach Kerr is making this team. Shout out Zach Kerr. Justin Hilliard, man, he keeps popping for me. I like his burst. I really do. Like when he diagnoses something, when he sees where the ball is and he goes, I like it. I like his tracking ability. Still need to do a little bit more study on him, but I'm starting to like Justin Hilliard more and more as the days go by. Jordan Willis had another sack. Jordan Willis is going to be like I don't even know what the analogy is. I'm too tired to come up with any kind of creative analogy. But when Jordan Willis comes off the suspension, after week 6, I believe, so we'll have him week 7. It is going to be like embarrassment of riches, especially if we stay healthy throughout those first 6 weeks. Jordan Willis has been fantastic. One of the guys that popped for me against the Chiefs, preseason week 1, Alexander Myers, number 41, who started today. I'm pretty sure he started today over Ambry. And he played from everything that I could see. Again, I still got to go back and watch, but I think he played pretty well. Alexander Myers was someone who was a late add to training camp. Didn't get to see him a ton in training camp because he was at the back end of the roster. Didn't get a ton of reps. But when he got in against the Chiefs, I was like, who is that guy? I was like, who's number 41? Because I see traits. I'm a traits guy. I'm not super X's and O heavy in regards to verbiage and that kind of stuff. I'm big on traits. Just big traits guy. And so guys' traits pop for me like really quickly. And Alex Myers' traits popped against the Chiefs. And he's done well ever since. And I'm kind of sitting here scratching my head like, did this guy maybe push to make the roster? I don't know. I think it's worthy of a question because they've cut 2 cornerbacks. They've cut 2 veteran cornerbacks. Ken Webster was on this team last year in 2020. They cut him after that Chiefs game. Guess who else they cut? B.W. Webb. Both of those guys were veterans. Both of those guys were playing in front of Alexander Myers. I feel like Alexander Myers made both of those two expandable. Shout out Don Burr. So I don't know if Alexander makes the team, but I like him. I officially like him. Number 41, cornerback for the 49ers. Signed off the streets and the camp. I really don't know anything about him other than I like him. I like him. I like him. I don't know if he makes it, but I like him. Trying to think. We saw some Javon Kinlaw today. Eddie Yarbrough got a sack. Eddie Yarbrough's been pretty consistently good. Again, another guy off the streets that is sticking. It's insane. It's insane how many guys that we've pulled off the streets stuck into that D-line room and they've stuck and actually been somewhat productive. Arden Key, Mo Hurst, Yarbrough's one of them. Zettel was one of them before he retired. So I like it. I like our D-line. Our D-line's going to be good. Samson Ebukam. Got to see Samson. Don Burr calling out Coach. I love it. Where's Coach? Get Coach on the line. Someone call Coach. Bring Coach in. That's hilarious. But yeah. Love our defensive line. Got a great defensive line. Samson Ebukam is going to be a nice piece for us, especially with D Ford, especially with Nick Bosa. And Arden Key potentially as like a fourth option. I like that. I like it a lot. Jonas Griffith, he flashed to me on special teams today. He's been a guy that I really liked, like his potential. I think he's not close to reaching his potential. I think he's got about 2 more years, Jonas Griffith, that is, of developing before he arrives to being like a starting caliber player. I think he's close. I think if you put him in now, he could survive and actually do pretty well. But I'm talking about like true development. I think Jonas Griffith, if you give him 2 solid years of developing, I think he can add at least 15 more pounds of pure muscle. And I compare his body to Fred Warner's body when Fred Warner came in as a rookie and was like a hybrid safety, essentially. I kind of look at Jonas a little bit like that. Jonas is built better. He's built more like a linebacker than I would say Fred was. Fred, you could have really put in a lot of different spots. But I think Jonas is going to grow into his frame. Give Jonas about a year or two. Again, more marinating. Throw Jonas on that grill for a solid 4 to 6 hours. About 225 temp. Just let slow cook them. Apparently a lot of barbecue smoking references on today's live. Unfortunately, no Arden Key sack. That's what I wanted. I wanted an Arden Key sack today. I think Arden Key's sack would have been fire. I think the whole place would have went crazy. Hilliard and Sullivan end up on practice squad. I would say so. I think they make it a background practice squad, and those would be 2 guys that I would be really happy with on the practice squad. Sullivan, another undrafted free agent. Primary punt returners for the day: River Craycraft, Nasimba Webster, Travis Benjamin. Simba Webster looked pretty good against the Chiefs. Hasn't really matched that performance yet. So I think he could have made a strong push. Don't know if he edges out Jalen Hurd at this point. Travis Benjamin, I think, was making a really, really strong push. Don't know if he edges out Jalen Hurd at this point. So we'll see. We'll see. I would love to have all three of those guys on the practice squad. I would love to keep them around. I don't want them going anywhere. Keep those boys around if we can. But yeah, that covers most of it. 34 49ers, 10 Raiders. You know the vibes. We killed it. 49ers had 375 yards of total offense compared to 212 from the Raiders. Raiders edge out the 49ers, though, in passing yards with 149. 49ers had 133. Whoo, look at this discrepancy, though. Look at this discrepancy. It's bad. Oh, my gosh. Whew. Rushing yards. 49ers had 242 rushing yards today. Let's go. Like we talked about at the top, all the running backs, all top 4 running backs, they averaged 4 yards a carry or more. Every single one of them. Some of them getting up into the 9 yards per clip category, like a Hasty. So the 49ers dominated on the ground today. 242 yards, 63 on the ground for the Raiders. Yards per play, 5.4 for the 49ers, 4.1 for the Raiders. Third down efficiency, something that, the 49ers are going to want to look to clean up on. They went 3 for 11 today. They still were able to get 26 first downs. That's positive. Give me 26 first downs all day. I will absolutely take that any day of the week. Let's go. Give me all the first downs. Like I said, they went 3 for 11 on third down efficiency. Fourth down efficiency wasn't bad, though. Fourth down, they went 2 for 3. I'll take it. 70 total plays. 4 punts. Ooh. How could I go throughout an entire episode without talking about Mitch Wishnowsky? What am I thinking without even talking about Mitch Wishnowsky? Mitch had some good punts today. He had some boomers. So shout out Mitch. Mitch had some good ones today. Mitch looked like he was in midseason form today. We didn't miss any field goals today. That's great. It's fantastic. Good job, Gould. No missed field goals today. So that's something that, we're going to be watching because, I don't know, man. I know Gould is such he really is a leader from the special teams position. It's just hard when you miss, especially in preseason. So it puts a bad taste in people's mouth early. That's it. He's just going to have to face that. Is that people are going to be quick to jump the gun on him because they've seen him miss in preseason. So they're going to be like, well, if he missed in preseason, if he misses in the season, just saying, it's close to coming. It's real close to coming. Lil Lord Stewie, appreciate the question, my guy. He says, did this look like a Super Bowl team? Today was really good. Great progress from Jimmy G and Trey. I think this team is really, I don't want to call it 2019 vibes. I don't even want to put anything on 2019 compare it towards 2019 because 2019 was such a good year. It was such a magical year. There's so many things that fell the way they needed to fall for us. So I don't want to compare it, but in a vacuum in of itself, the depth is what is really exciting me. obviously we're top heavy at a lot of positions. We have the best left tackle in the league. We have the best fullback in the league. We have the best tight end in the league. We might have the best running back room in the league. We might have the best quarterback room in the league. Our offense is going to be up there like top 10. Our offensive line is going to be up there like top 10 wise. We have insanely good young receivers. Defensive wise, the deepest I've ever seen this defensive line ever, including that 2019 year. Again, the 2019 year was so good because Bosa, Defoe, whether it's DJ Jones, Earl Mitchell, or whoever you're running in kind of at your nose guard, and then Eric Armstead and D Ford as well. Those guys, that was again Ronald Blair as well, but that was like the main core. That was the main core of the D line, and they were doing super well. But this year it's so much deeper. Like we can literally throw waves and waves of different groupings at these teams, and that is going to be a big difference. You guys know I'm a big trench guy. Football's won in the trenches. It's won either with the offensive line or with the defensive line. The 49ers have an opportunity to win both sides. They have an offensive line built that can be top 5. They have a defensive line built that can be top 5. That should you want to talk about Super Bowl team? To me, that's enough. To me, when you're built right in the trenches, and we have obviously capable skill players, and we have a capable structure built around those guys, then yeah, I think that's. I mean, I'm not gonna put that like expectation out there because there's so many variables that need to happen and occur to make it to the Super Bowl. But does this look like a Super Bowl team? Yeah, I think it does. Absolutely. You look at our linebacker. We have arguably one of the best linebacking cores in the NFL, especially young linebacking cores. Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw, Al Shire, Flanagan Fowles, Griffith, Marcel Harris, Hilliard. Like we got boys. We got boys at the linebacker core. Again, we know what the deal is with the defensive backs. Defensive back depth is where it's going to be tested. Again, a good front seven, a good stout pass rush, good up front D line clogging running lanes can help a lot. But we gotta stay healthy on the back end. Jason Verrett, Emmanuel Mosley are huge to the success of this team. Massive. On top of that, so is K1. I imagine Demo too as well is going to see some run. I imagine Hufanga is going to get some run. Jimmy Ward, we know Jimmy Ward, the enforcer. He's like a huge linchpin of the back end of that defense. So it's going to take the whole squad. But to the original question that you asked, Lord Stewie, as I go on an hour-long tangent to answer it, yeah, I would say we look like that. Now we got to perform like that. We got to do it consistently. We got to do it week in, week out. If we make mistakes, we got to correct them and not make them again. That's what Super Bowl teams do. Obviously, football is an imperfect game. Mistakes are going to happen. Things are going to happen that are outside of anyone's control. But that's what it is. But we have a team that I think is built for that. We have a team, a core group of guys, been there, done that, and they're ready. So, how's your boy looking at right tackle? I heard he's not doing so hot. Sewell not doing so hot. What do I think about Griffin at linebacker? I love Griffin at linebacker. I think I just got done talking about him, but I think he's an ascending player. I think he's got a frame. You can add 50 more pounds onto him. I think he's going to be a player in about 1 to 2 years. I think Griffith is still. I'd still had the developmental tag on him, but he's developing in the right direction, and I want him here, and I want him to develop on this team. I like Griffith a lot. I really do. The linemen from Mexico on the Niners have not seen him. I wonder where he's at. He's not going to play this year. Alfredo Gutierrez, he really didn't get a lot of reps in camp. Like maybe a handful, maybe. I think the reason why is because they understand he's got a lot of marinating to do. He has got a lot of technique to work on, and he's not counting against a roster spot. So they technically don't have to like make it all happen this year. They can literally just keep him on the team and bring him along at his own pace. I think Alfredo's real shot to show us what he's capable of comes next year. Comes next year in camp after he's had a full year running practice squad, doing all that, getting acclimated to the NFL again. The level that he jumped from going from Mexico to the NFL, insane, like insane. So I imagine he'll take all the developmental time he can take. Again, playing offensive line is not easy. Playing offensive line in the NFL is not easy at all. Like it's probably I would go out and say, like, if you're playing tackle in the NFL, it's probably the hardest job on the field. I know quarterback is really hard. I know cornerback is really hard as well, regards to being on an island and being by yourself. But left tackles, right tackles, being on islands with some of the best athletes in the world in regards to edge players, that is a hard job, and you're moving backwards. Again, it's similar to cornerbacks. Cornerbacks have to backpedal, super fluid hips. Same thing with offensive line. You got to be able to get depth, good depth in your hips. You got to be able to get power out of those hips. Hips don't lie. Tell Shakira that. So I like the team though. If you're asking about the hat, they're pinned. If you're asking about the hat, they're pinned. So that's the company. They're pinned on Instagram. If you want the hat, that's them. Detroit Lions fan page. I see you in here. We got you week 1. Let's go. We ready. We ready. Oh, Don Burr's talking. What's Don Burr saying? Don Burr's saying Sewell gonna pancake bums. Taylor Decker, Jonah Jackson, Frank Ragnow, Big V top 10 O-line. I like Frank Ragnow a lot. I do. I think he's one of the better centers in the league. Third Decker, middle of the pack. Middle of the pack. He ain't no Trent Williams. Sewell. So this is why. So I didn't have Sewell as my number 1 tackle in this draft. Penny Sewell was not my number 1 tackle. My number 1 tackle in this class was the kid out of Northwestern that went to the Chargers. And the reason is because Sewell, although Sewell was a dominant run blocker, very dominant run blocker, elite run blocker, I might even say, at Oregon, he struggled in pass protection. A lot of the passing that they did in Oregon was similar to kind of like what we do. We do a lot of run action passing. So we make it look like a run, but it's a pass. So what that means for offensive linemen is they're taking steps forward. They're taking their run action technique. It's not pass set technique. And so when I put on the tape of Sewell, he struggled as a pass blocker, especially from a technique standpoint. It was funny because some of the things that he struggled with, Mike McGlinchey struggled with, in regards to leverage, bending at the hips, depth, feet. Some of the same things that we had saw some previous struggles that McGlinchey has had and he's working towards correcting. Sewell has those as well. So Slater. Yeah, Slater is the one I was looking for. Would we kill to have Sewell? I would kill to have Sewell at guard. I think Sewell is a guard. I think he's a guard. But again, if he can develop his pass set technique, then he can play tackle. But I just think he's a guard right now. But Slater, I think, was the best tackle because he has technique. I go for technicians. I like the technicians because technique beats power, beats strength, beats size. It really does. If you got technique, you can do it all. Tony said, "Am I worried about bad blood between Kittle and Lance?" No, not at all. I don't think this team is built that way. I really don't. I don't think Kittle would allow that. I would have to imagine Kittle's being great with Trey. I would just have to imagine that. From what I've seen out of George, and all that, I really would have a hard time thinking that there'd be any kind of bad blood. Because again, all this stuff that we're talking about it. We are talking about it. They could have a completely different mindset, like which they do, because they're in the building and they see each other every single day and they work together every single day. I don't think that's a range of. It's not a possibility. I don't think, because I just don't think they're built that way. I think George is going to bring Trey along. Clearly, him and Jimmy are boys, but he's still going to bring Trey along. Can Kittle handle Lance's fastballs? I would say so. Yeah. I haven't seen him not be able to. So I like it. I don't think there's any bad blood. That's the thing. There's bad blood in the fan base. There's bad blood in the fan base because typically human nature, it doesn't matter. Like, it literally doesn't matter what subject we're talking about. You just pick sides. That's just typically how it is. You just pick a side. You feel confident in your side. You start gathering information that justifies your side. You build your case for your side, and then you fight your side. That's literally what Trey versus Jimmy is amongst the fan base. Inside that locker room, it's a completely different mentality. Again, you guys have to understand that what we hear every single day, media talking, these people tweeting, that person posting this, that, and the other thing, that's us. That is us. That is us, and that is not reflective of what's happening inside that locker room. Because these dudes are together all the time. They're together all the time. They're not bickering about like who the week one starter is, like, because that's the thing. This isn't a sprint to week one. It's not a sprint to week one. As much as we've made it that, as much as we've hyper focused on week one, who's the starter week one, blah blah blah. It's a talking point. We're media. I'm media. I'm responsible for moving the timeline. I am responsible for getting people to like, click, and comment. That's my role in this ecosystem. So, but that doesn't mean that's what they're saying. It doesn't mean that's what they're doing. And like I've said, based on our society, based on how we manage social media as human beings, you pick a side. That's it. You pick a side. That's why it's Jimmy versus Trey. It's just natural human instinct. It's natural amongst 49ers Twitter, for whatever reason, to be against one side. You're either against Kyle or you like Kyle. You're either against Jimmy or you like Jimmy. You're either against Trey or you like Trey. Like, there's literally no middle ground. And that's just more of a reflection of our society as a whole, but not a reflection of what the society is within that locker room. So much different, I would say. All right, I'm gonna call it. I'm dehydrated. I've been going nonstop. I'm calling it for today. I've got plenty. I still got to watch the game back, so I got plenty to watch, plenty to look for, plenty of notes to take, and so that's what we'll be doing tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'll be doing a full breakdown of the game, position group by position group. Again, hyper focus. Like I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna go back and watch, and just really, really dive in. Yes, I need the most high quality H2O possible. Give me all of it, please. Give me all the H2O because I'm dying. Shout out all you guys. I see you. Let's go. Don Burr, you are officially on the clock, Don. Don, you are officially on the clock. Let's go. It's week 1. It's Monday tomorrow. It's Victory Monday tomorrow. We're going to celebrate our dub, but guess what? Then we're turning the page and it is week 1. Football is here. We freaking made it. Holy crap, we did it. We did it. We made it. We're here. We didn't die. And guess what? We're going to have 2 quarterbacks week 1. Who cares? We look good. Our squad looks good. Our squad looks healthy. We made it through. The only crazy injuries that we really had, knock on all the wood, was Tarvarius Moore, Justin School, and Jeff Wilson. But both Jeff Wilson and Tarvarius Moore look like they will be back. So, guys, we made it. We freaking made it. Be back tomorrow. Time-wise, probably around, I've been doing like these breakdowns probably around 1:30. Is just kind of the sweet spot for my timing. But again, they'll be on YouTube. Daniel, I see you on Instagram. So if you don't catch it on Instagram, you can always play it back on YouTube. One of the benefits of streaming on YouTube. Sean, my guy, we'll see you. I always see you out here on these streams, my guy. Appreciate all the support as always. Oh no. Why is it always someone at the end? Like I'm getting ready to get off. I'm down to talk some Raider trash talk if we want to. Some guy says, LOL, congrats on beating third stringers with almost your whole starting offense, clown. I love it. You mad, bruh. You big mad. 34-10, boy. 34-3 before that. This guy wants to come on here and say congrats on beating third stringers with almost your whole starting squad. I think homeboy forgot that we beat their whole starting team with third stringers. Nick Mullins, an undrafted free agent who had never taken a snap in the NFL before, and put 34 points on you on your starting defense. Get the hell out of here. These Raider fans, man, they need to think before they speak. Think. They're too easy. They're just, oh man, they're too easy, man. They're too easy. Oh, third stringers. Do you not remember 2018? You not remember that? We showed up with a whole squad of third stringers. We had Cassius Marsh out there. Dakota Watson. What are we talking about? Dante Johnson. What are we talking about? Nick Mullins. Get out of here, Raider fan. Enjoy Vegas. Enjoy Vegas. Oh, I appreciate that though. On the way out, you got me to get a little Raider trash talk in, so I appreciate it. That was a layup. That was an easy one for me. Thank you for that. Oh, good job. You won a preseason game against third stringers. We also won a regular season game against you with our third stringers, but nice work. Good job. All right. And with that, we are going to end it on some quality Raider bashing. It's just from this moment on, the rivalry will never be the same. It won't. I already feel it. It just won't. It's just not the same. So, that being said, glad to know that we went out 34-3. Bay champions JD. Bay champions JD. Just won't be the same. It just won't be the same. It just won't be the same because the 49ers hands down run the Bay. It's not a question. It's a fact. And so the rivalry kind of goes away at that point. What are we rival with? Some Las Vegas team? Nah. I don't know. I hope it comes back, but I don't know. We might need some regular season games for like the Raiders need to be good and we actually need to be good at the same time. For I don't know. It just doesn't feel the same. Just doesn't feel the same. I'm sad about it, but it's fine, I guess. Bay champions. 34-3, 34-10. You know the vibes. We own the Bay. We run the Bay. Bay champions. We out here. All right. I'm out of here. Like, subscribe, do all that. Back tomorrow, 1:30, full breakdown. It is what it is. Go Niners. We out. Let's go. We out. Delete you. Delete live. Delete. I don't want you around. All right. And now I'm out with you guys. Appreciate it. Love you guys.